opening, right?
Hello. It's episode 22 and let's take a shot.
I like
Dragon
that.
goes right into it. Cheers. Ooh.
Didn't even hurt
That was
anymore. Just dead inside.
Just dead inside.
So this episode is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
gonna be
the best episode ever.
Oh my gosh. That title's held for the queen. Misfit.
Only for now. Once Neal's exposed, the whole world is gonna be like, let's go hear this shit show.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
get canceled.
Oh, dude. We messed up.
What do we do?
What does that mean?
Oh, no. We didn't ask his sister for questions.
Oh, we should have.
Shoot.
It's a missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
He said shoot. Can we like ping her in here? We should
No.
have her join. That would be amazing.
I'm booting her. I'm booting her from the server.
That's mean.
How are you guys? It's been, 10 years since we talked. How's it going? Man, I know I talked to you Whiskey yesterday, and we've talked a lot in the chat actually, but it feels like we haven't really talked.
Speaking of chats and team chats, Dragon had some fun today, didn't you, sir?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So I go into the Cris Vond Team chat where all of us can see, and there's emojis that are dropped in there. I'm not going to go into what they were.
Thank you.
They were enough to where I said, this team chat is way different than my other team chats. So Dragon decides to go into our team chat and drop the same emoji. Then he goes into the Misfits Discord where we have a channel that says like, what does it say? Like
staff or something?
Staff chat or something. And he drops the emoji in there. And I'm like, okay, that's 3 out of 4. And he's like, where's the 4th one? I'm like, you don't have access to that one. And he's like, damn it. He just kept placing the same emoji all over the place. So it's like in every chat.
Oh my God. Oh.
I'm gonna
get some dirty birdies. We had some big happenings on the farm this week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
So have I talked about how terrible my luck has been with goats? Have I talked about that on the show?
You've talked about your goats. Yeah. You seem to have terrible luck with more than just goats, though, sir.
Yeah. So like, we had one female that we bottle fed. She was kicked by Winston and died. Because once we got Winston, we tried to combine him, and then we got 2 new baby mamas, and they ended up having a bunch of sickness, and we had to put them down. It was really sad. I had to do it. It was horrible. Really, I cried. It was a whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
But we just got there's a lady who does like a school program for kids on her little like farm, and she has like all kinds of weird animals, but she also has the type of goats that we have, and she accidentally got them all pregnant. The male goat got in and just had his way without them trying.
Wow.
Yeah. Lucky goat. So we ended up picking up 2 new goats. One is already in milk, has already had a baby, and one is pregnant. So now Alfie has 2 new girlfriends. So shout out to Alfie. Yeah.
Check him out.
Yeah. This will be girlfriend number 4 and 5. Hopefully they will make it and won't die.
Wow. Yeah.
So
keep Winston away.
Yeah. He's such a little piece of crap.
He probably feels the same way about you. It's okay.
He feels that way about everybody. Whiskey.
That's fair. Okay.
What else is going on? Benji, we just put him on the team officially in DeFi Elitism. That's something new. It was something I was already thinking about doing, and then when me, Whiskey, and Chris talked this week, Chris brought it up. So shout out to Benji. He deserves it.
What did you say, Dragon?
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were definitely made. When I saw him in the team chat, I'm like, no, I quit. Forget it.
I know you did. I was like, come on, Whiskey.
He's literally everywhere. Everywhere I am. It's like the same people just follow you everywhere. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but you want to talk about matching energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've talked a lot about that on the show.
Yeah.
Benji's not only matched
I say
energy,
match my effort. Don't match my energy. The world doesn't need multiple whiskeys. This
match
is
my effort. If
yes.
anything, he's outdone my effort in terms of bringing people into this community with DeFi elitism and making new holders and going above and beyond. I mean, the dude is just killing it.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I see that eye roll? I see that. I see what I see, and I know. I not only
I roll
felt
my
it
eyes
this time.
all the time.
You know what he said this morning? He said that, yeah, he said that me and him are like, we're the same person. I was like,
saw that. I was like,
thing ever.
No, absolutely not. You are not the same person, but at least you have something to work towards. He is better than Blair, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
This is for Blair. You can screenshot this.
It's a middle finger, Blair, if you're listening. 2 middle fingers. Look at that. Dancing middle fingers.
Yeah.
Wow. That's okay. The people you expect to listen don't listen.
Yeah.
The people that you don't want to listen do listen. It's just completely jacked up. Have you guys ever gotten your hands stuck in one of those Clorox wipe containers? You know, like you go to reach down in the Clorox wipe containers and you go to pull it up and get your hand stuck? Yeah, I did that yesterday and I panicked because I knew it was going to hurt when it came out.
That's what she said.
It was like stuck and I'm like freaking out because I knew. This is why we can't have nice things.
I can't do it. I'm done. Where's the bell?
Oh my gosh. You guys make everything dirty.
You did.
No.
You started saying it, and what they don't see, because we don't do video, is Whiskey start to smile. Just it's like a half little, her like corners of her mouth just start to go up just a little bit as she's saying what she's saying, knowing full well what she's saying is wild as hell. And then she blames us for it. This is the real like magic of Whiskey. She has a way of just like pushing us over the edge when she's the one that was the mastermind behind it all anyway. And yeah, so don't fall for it. Whiskey totally knew what she was doing.
I get blamed for everything. No.
Oh my god.
The eyes. The way she, the eyes.
Yeah. She like gets this like. My daughter had this look as a baby. Like she'll get an idea in her head, and the eyes will just lock in, like she's about to execute this amazing thing, and then she'll get a half grin, like Whiskey. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Talking about getting her hand stuck and it'll hurt.
That was literally Whiskey, just talking. I was literally talking about a Clorox wipe container, and y'all made it dirty. I get blamed for everything that goes wrong and everything that goes south. That's like this morning, Dragon decides to share this picture again with Alex. It was horrible. It was a horrible picture again. And he sends it to the Misfits Twitter because I told him like Alex doesn't use his, so you can send it there. But in the comments, he legit said, "This is Whiskey's neighbors." So it brings it right back to me again. I swear, I said, you know what? Between NFTs, pictures, and people, asses surround me, and it's really annoying.
That is one of the single most insane things I've ever seen on Twitter.
That's
How do you
wild
explain what is going on?
No,
in that picture? You can't.
Where did you find that?
I don't know. It just showed up. All of a sudden, I start liking things that Whiskey posts, and next thing you know,
no, sir, don't you dare blame me for that one. That was not me at all. I didn't see that until you shared it, and I'm like, what is this?
I'm surprised Twitter allows all that.
I know. Twitter allows some wild stuff. And I don't, but I stay off it. I don't want.
No. You brought that into our chat and opened the world for Dragon to be able to send it to Alex. And I'm 99% sure it was poor Tom that had to see it again. I don't even know if Alex is the one that saw it. It just continues.
It's so bad.
I'm not comfortable with how much attention asses get with my name attached to it. It's become a problem.
We need to explain it to the listeners.
No.
Oh no. We don't. We really don't.
So there's candles.
There's candles.
There's
and obviously
candles.
asses. So
And asses.
let your mind wander.
There.
Have fun.
But it did
And
make
a
me think of Creed Bratton, so I was thankful for that.
I wonder how many people have Uber facts coming across their Twitter feeds now because of me.
Definitely me.
I saw one today that talked about the world record for 2 people kissing. It was disgusting. Like, why would you kiss that long? It was like 50 some hours.
That's
like,
it?
You just get bored. Your lips would chap.
That's
like,
not the problem I have.
There's
You
a
went
lot
to the
of
bathroom.
problems.
You went to the bathroom together kissing.
There's so much that you do in that amount of time that.
Right. Shower, sleeping, okay.
Also, but listen, I don't care how
You're literally
good the
sitting on a
is.
toilet while making out with someone, and that's disgusting.
And I don't care how good the kiss is. You're not going to have fun kissing for that long.
No, at some point, let's do more. Why are we still kissing after 50 some hours? It's just
I would
insane.
just be uncomfortable.
Right? I'd be like, okay, my lips are tired. Let's move on. We're done.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Have you ever gotten your tongue sucked kissing?
Yes.
I'm not going to comment because it's none of your business.
Oh, are we not supposed to comment? I mean, I don't know.
That hurts.
Not if it's done right.
Yeah,
Why
if
are we
it's
talking
done right,
about
it's fine.
this?
I don't know. Never.
Oh, this is quality.
Wow, New York's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna say.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I've the green
I'm
light to buy the plane ticket.
Yeah.
Regardless, my work might actually fly me out and put me up and everything. But even if they don't, I got the green light to buy a plane ticket. So it looks like Chaotic Exposure live in person.
It's gonna be fun. I'm scared, actually.
I'm scared. I took out life insurance
for different reasons.
yesterday.
He upped his life insurance.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Dragon said, F it, I'm drinking in New York.
I love that.
Wait till he learns about rats. Oh, man.
He already knows about them. That's why I tell everybody, don't talk about rats in front of Dragon, because he'll cancel his trip. But then he started looking up what did he share today? Like
I didn't look it up. It showed up. Yeah.
Well, stop looking stuff up because it's the algorithm that's hitting you.
They're like, I guess this couple got in a fight about a parking spot, and then it got violent, like crime scene.
God. See, good thing I'm not driving anymore and I'm flying, because I'm that person that flips you off, and then Whiskey got shot and murdered in New York because she flipped off a New Yorker. I see it.
They don't play. No. I'm ready to have the world's best cup of coffee like an elf, and I'm ready to have dollar slices of pizza, and I'm excited to have New York style sushi like they had at the launch party when Ryan launched the safety website.
We'll have to sit on some random person's car though, because none of us will have our cars. And
we have to run in and take the plate of sushi out of the restaurant and steal it, just like they did. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you're not wearing any like merch while you're doing that. I'm excited though.
NFT NYC.
Yeah.
And then like is going to be repping Chaotic Exposure and the Misfits, everyone. But you gotta can we say what you got? Is that allowed?
What?
Because we're allowed to promote it through. Are we allowed to say what you got because of Chaotic Exposure? I
don't understand. Oh, the media pass?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about what I got to hand out while I was there. I'm like,
no. The media pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be reporting live.
Reporting live. So, Tim and Merc with High Seas Pirates, which I have to give them a huge shout out because they have been so amazing when it comes to support for Misfits and Chaotic Exposure and Cris Vond, and they're just killing it. Like they're in all these spaces, they're just crushing like this, engaging with the communities and like building and getting in these huge spaces and talking. And I sat in their space last night. I think we all did. We sat in their space last night, and it was just, they do such a good job running their spaces. I think it's every Monday. But they do a really good job because they are a Polygon project, but they're very inclusive of others. And I think that that's kind of cool because you can get your like stuck ups that really just stick to their,
I've seen it with Hedera and Ethereum and Polygon. You know, it's really common to get in a silo and never leave.
Yeah, and they've been awesome. I mean, they had me go up last week and speak about Misfits, so they've been awesome. So they're gonna go, and I think they got media passes, and they're going to. They said something about doing live Twitter Spaces. My thought is, I think I'm gonna do like live Discord voice chat things. So I kind of want to go. I'm gonna be like repping Chaotic Exposure, but I also am going to be wearing like Misfits and trying to like push that too. So I think I'm gonna do like live feeds from the convention and like even like after stuff, like if we're at some kind of like satellite event or if we're just like hanging out, I'm going to do it like in the voice chat channels in Misfits server, or maybe take some time and do it like in our server, to where you have to like come in our Discord and be able to access it. So like more of your Discord live events, which would be kind of fun. So
we have a lot to talk about because we need to like work on if we want to try to get in some episodes. I mean it's an opportunity to record like a few guests, you know what I mean, to post. It's an opportunity to do some just the three of us live.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do a live Chaotic Exposure.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
There's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's not even enough time to do it all, but like we just have a lot to talk about because like
we should do that in our hotel rooms one night.
Yeah, I want to do one with DeFi Elitism with Chris and the Twitter space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. What'd you say, Dragon?
Pillow fight.
A pillow fight. I'll watch you guys do a pillow fight. I'm not doing a pillow fight. I'm staying clear of all that.
I do not want to be a person with a life, right? Please do not cancel me.
I do not want to. I will be in my room by myself, all nice and quiet. I'm sleeping, and one of you is gonna wake up with like a Sharpie mustache. Somebody else is gonna like, I just feel it. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't even want to be on the same floor as you guys. I want to be like complete opposite direction as you guys.
That's rude.
Chris is like, we're gonna have Whiskey have her own room, and we're gonna get a suite. And I'm like, no, sir, I am not staying in a room with you three boys at all. That is a danger zone. The last thing I need is to be in the shower and Dragon be like coming in and having to take a piss while I'm in the shower. Those are the kind of things that would happen, and I just don't need that. Like, things happen in hotels when you've got too many people in a room and it gets wild and you've got alcohol, and this is why we're all needing to be separated. It's not good.
I think Neal is the one that would do that.
Without thinking, just open.
I've never been the one to do those kinds of things. Those are the kinds of things that people like. I don't understand why.
That checks out. You'll get your Ted Lasso mustache. So Chris told you that you have to grow a mustache out for New York?
Yep. Ted Lasso. I'm dressing up as Ted Lasso. I already kind of have the ensemble together. Like I'm almost there. Got the hat, just need the mustache. Got the comb over rocking, Oh
my gosh. Yeah, look at you.
I might just put like a little Believe sticker right here.
I just need the record to show that mustaches are not cute. They're not sexy.
Mustaches are so sexy.
No, they're not sexy. And I can't believe you just said that.
They make women everywhere swoon.
No.
When you open a door and you have a glorious mustache, it's like game over.
No. I look at it and I'm like, you're disgusting.
Ew. Is that what you think?
Dragon's got like the whole. No, you have like the whole goatee.
Dragon like, glitches the system with Whiskey. He can literally come up and like smell like.
Dragon could have a mustache, and I'd be like, yeah, but it's cute.
Yeah.
No, Dragon has like the whole goatee scruff thing.
He's got a beard.
That's perfect. It's but it's a trimmed beard. Like that's the way it should be. You should have that. But not just a mustache.
Yeah. I mean, it's not clean cut.
I mean, my opinions don't really count anyways. I just talk a lot of shit, right, Neal?
Oh. Statements that I wish I never said.
It's true, though. I didn't realize it until I heard you say it. And I'm like, that's not true. I don't talk a lot of shit. And then I started listening to things I say, and I'm like, nope, I do. I absolutely do. I do talk a lot of shit. It just comes out. I don't mean to. I mean, sometimes I mean to, but I don't mean to.
It's just honesty.
It just happens.
It's just the way we get by.
Yeah. I actually told Blair yesterday, because he made some kind of snarky comment, and I think I flipped him off or something. I don't know what I said to him. And he's like looking for who asked you. And I said, this is part of your Misfits utility, Blair. You get whiskey sass unlimited and middle fingers unlimited. It's part of the utility.
My favorite is how much we all yell at him when he comes in. It's just the best.
Well,
now I just ping him and flip him off.
He comes in and he has like nothing nice to say.
No.
No. Did you see him yesterday? Yeah. He's like, I hate everyone here but Bearded. And I'm like, well, go on with your day, sir. You don't have to come in here and wreck lives because you're in a pissy mood.
I don't think he gets enough love on his team, so he has to come get it from us.
It's the Crocs.
Yeah, it is the Crocs. I'm much more of a slides kind of guy.
Yeah. Although when I shared a picture of me wearing slides with socks, you guys like gave me some massive hate.
I wear slides with socks all day.
What the hell? It's still better than Crocs, and you gave me shit for it. Like,
I never gave you shit. I wear slides and socks all the time.
Maybe it was Dragon. Dragon did. That's rude. At least my toes
I didn't
were
defend
covered.
you. I let it happen because it's super funny when Dragon gives you shit.
Yes, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Dragon's the only one that's allowed to give you shit.
New York, I'm good. Leave.
I'm not gonna wear slides. I'm gonna wear my Izzy. When Chris did his TikTok live last night, he was asking about New York or something, and I was telling him about some of the stuff I was gonna wear, and I said I'm taking my Izzy Vans, and he's like, "Don't take those." And I'm like, "No, I have to take my Izzy Vans. I have to rep." And then he said, "If somebody steps on your foot, I will stab them." I'm like, oh shit! See, angry Cris Vond. Hopefully nobody steps on him.
He's been doing.
Those are really fun. The hot dogs. Yeah. Okay, I missed the first night you guys did the hot dogs because I think I went to bed after. What did he do? He was doing the guessing game, but he did the hot dogs thing. And watching him trying to catch hot dogs and get mustard on his face is the most adorable thing I've ever seen on TikTok. Like he makes everything adorable. It's so annoying.
I threw so many like roses at him.
Yeah.
Spent so much money.
I know. I don't want to think about it too much. I think I only spent like $25. It wasn't that bad.
That's not bad. No. You get yelled at if you spend money to send him money, though.
Yeah. I don't care. I just wanted to see him win battle. That's all I really cared about. It was cool though. Like, never mind. Talk about that later.
You can't do that.
Part of being a community manager is a scary thing because you're an island a little bit. And there's a lot of...
I feel like Homer Simpson. Come sit beside me and tell me all about it.
Yeah. You just don't always know if... There's not always a way to measure. And you don't necessarily believe what people say.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to get into that because...
Yeah, exactly. So I was just going to say, I got a text message the other day and it was good to see it because it was like, oh, okay, people are noticing that Chris is getting out there. And again, we can get into this later.
I was gonna ask something and now I forget because Neal got me off track.
I tried to stop.
It's curiosity. If somebody says never mind, I'm immediately gonna be like, no, you need to continue because now I'm gonna sit here all day and be like, what were they gonna say?
Yeah, I get that.
Yep.
I think I need more alcohol. Do you know you can get a little tipsy off of some moonshine cherries? Because I threw some back the other day and woo buddy. Yeah.
I just need some good hooch. I want the real.
Oh yes, like
dirty.
good backyard Tennessee hooch.
Mississippi does it good too. I'm just saying. I mean, respect to Tennessee. I know they're the like goats, but Mississippi, we got our nose. We're barefoot outside. You know what I'm saying? Like by the creek. Like, we're making some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait,
the best time. Hooch is moonshine. Yeah. Same thing.
And hoochie is different?
Hoochie mama. Is different.
Okay.
Coochie sweater.
Hoochie. We went from hooch to hoochie to Gucci. What is happening?
It's about right. I saw Hezbollah wearing those those really big red shoes and a Mario hat, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. That was so cool. I want to be just like him when I grow up.
Do you though? Because Dragon like hates his guts.
I know.
Every time I see him, I think of Dragon, and I get mad for Dragon.
Dragon shouldn't be mad. It wasn't him that did it. It was some scammers.
I don't care.
His name's connected to it.
Yeah.
Guilty by association.
Okay, in that case, we should cancel Elon Musk and every other famous character that's had a meme shit token named after him.
Okay, well, let's not get us canceled because we're going down a dark path now.
I wasn't going that far, Whiskey.
I'm just gonna stop talking.
Just gonna stop talking. Let the liquor talk, Whiskey. Should we get more liquor?
No. Actually feel like I need to not drink from now to New York. I drink so much over the last few days. It's yeah. I mean, like everything from 121 proof bourbon, which I've said I'm a small person, so I felt that going through my whole body. That and moonshine cherries. Then there was like moonshine pickles, which holy shit, I threw some of those down. And then moonshine, and then I had Fireball. Like, yeah. So I was like kind of MIA off and on, but it was for the good of the community to not be around because trashed on moonshine whiskey is a whole new whiskey.
Did you discover more about yourself that you didn't know before?
I'm sure people around me did. It's just kind of air out all your crazy, you know? It's like you don't text people, you don't get on Discord, and you're like, just put the phone down because it's for your own safety, that when you sober up, you're not going to be able to come back from the messages you send. So it was kind of that.
Yeah.
But we did have a really good poker event last night. Can we go on about how awesome that was? We had 21 people from DeFi Elitism and Misfits community show up. And holy shit, those blinds. What were they at, Dragon? Like, they were up to 10,000?
Was it up there?
It might have been when you were done. But Dragon was in the lead.
Like 4,000, 3,000. Or, I don't know.
I helped Dragon get in the lead.
Oh, yeah, well, I made a mistake at the end. I lost a mental game at the end.
Dragon took all my money, Whiskey.
I'm sorry. You must have deserved it.
Oh my god. Double standards.
It was actually like a really fun game because it was like a lot of mind games. Like I had really bad hands and I was still able to buy myself out most of the time.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that played that don't play all the time or haven't played before, and it was a really good turnout. We had like really good prizes. Neal had a Genesis Misfit, and then for first place, and then I had a Misfit for the second place, and then Neal had a Cryptolex for third. So there was like pretty decent prizes and a really good show up. So I think that's something that would be cool to do in the future, is just like a joint poker night. I've been trying to do that with different communities off and on, but huh?
I won a Cryptolex, third place.
Did you?
Is that third place? Send me the orange one whenever you get it.
He's gonna pick which one.
It's the one I have a duplicate of, and you can just eat it. I don't have an orange one.
Just wait. I'll collect it later.
He says after you mint more and you claim again and get an orange one.
I need to mint 3 more DeFi Elitism so I can get that ordinal.
I want to mint more too, but I'm literally like selling body parts to get to New York right now.
It'll wait till after New York. I think it will.
Yeah.
I think we'll have time. But I want to buy all 3 so I can get an ordinal.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking cool.
I want that and more Nemesis, but the money's just going right into New York right now. The hotels are mad expensive. Like $250 is like the cheapest I have found. And I want to stay out of like bed bug trailer trash hotels, you know?
Dragon and Cris can share a bed. You can have the other bed. I'll just sleep in the bathtub. It'll be fine.
This is not going to be a hangover event. I know that I joke about it, but this is not going to start out that way. You can't start in a bathtub. That's already going in a really bad direction.
I just hope I can pull off getting the room for everybody, or at least for the guys.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that will save a lot of money. Yeah, my flight is $800, like almost $800.
Your flight is
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's murder.
Mine's only like $330, $340.
Yeah,
it's direct.
same.
It's pretty nice.
Is that round trip or one way? Round trip?
Round trip.
Yeah, same.
Well, like I would have spent like maybe 400, but it was gonna be like flights that lasted like 14 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
I would go crazy on a flight that long.
And then I think me and Neil are gonna go watch a soccer game.
Oh, that's fun.
Are we, Neil? Yeah.
I hope so. I'm just waiting to find out approval so I can start booking stuff. I'm just there's a lot of conversations we need to have. I just am waiting for finding out some stuff with work because I'm a product manager and because it's technology. There's actually value in me going to NFT NYC professionally because because we like part of my job is to be able to bring ideas and innovation to conversations and try to like when we're ideating the product to try to like bring clever things to the table that no one's thinking about. And so
Yeah.
it's and that would
Sure, there's gonna be a lot of stuff over there.
right. There's a lot of products being released in Web3, and so it's a cool thing for me to be able to do professionally. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of excited because Dragon had his hot seat. I had my hot seat. And now it's Neal's turn to have his hot seat.
Dun, 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 dun.
So some of these questions are amazing. I'm not going to lie. We're just going to get into it. So first question, and this is kind of payback because Dragon and I had really hard times with this question. And I want you to struggle with it a little bit. Who is Neal?
Mm-hmm. Who's asking me?
Seriously? Is this how it's going to be?
It's a fair question. Like, are you asking?
Let's say you died.
No. Dragon and say you died.
And God asked you, who is Neal? There you go.
That's not a good no. I mean, people know you from the podcast. They know you from Cris Vond. They know you from before. Like, people know who Neal is. But if you're going to sum it up to people who really don't know who you are, you can give as little information or as much as you want. Yeah. Who is Neal? For people that are listening, tell us who Neal is.
Yeah, I think I don't want to come off like a heel, but I'm just a people-oriented person. That's who I am. Like I really what I get out of bed in the morning to do is to figure out how to make the people in my different areas of life look the best they can. Whether that's being a youth pastor at a church, whether it's being a product manager developing a new mobile app for healthcare, whether that's being a community manager for Cris, whether it's supporting Whiskey in her role, whether that's even being on this show. Like Dragon's incredible, Whiskey's incredible. Like how do I amplify the people around me? Like I planted a church and we don't talk about faith a ton. That's something that's really important to me. But like one of the things that I was just in a meeting this morning and we have this problem where we have all these students showing up. We have like we're almost to the point where we don't have enough adults to handle the amount of kids that are coming to the different programs that I've started. And it's like I don't even care what I do on a week-to-week basis in that capacity. How do I replicate myself and get other people to do it and set them up for success? Like that is just who I am. That's what motivates me. It's just how do I amplify others and make more impact through that? That's who I am.
That's who Neal is. You do really well at that, by the way. You're very good at like the support from behind. Yeah. I
understand that like people value me, and this isn't me taking away from the value that people see in me at all. I just know what I'm built to do, and that's to like make other people as successful as they can be.
Well, I think it's good you focus on your strengths. I mean, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. I mean, you focus on your strengths, and that helps other people to, progress and move forward, and that's good. There's not a lot of people that are like that out there, and especially ones that can do it without boosting themselves up while doing it. There's a lot of people that can help others or be supportive, but they're like first in line to flaunt that they do it. And that's really unattractive to me. If you have to be like, I did this. I mean, all of us can be proud of ourselves with things and be like, yeah, I did that, or yeah, this wouldn't work without me. And that's fine. I mean, we all do it, but
those people on TikTok that record themselves doing like nice things, like
Yes.
like
Yes.
Or being on a podcast and saying that's what I do. Same kind of thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Yeah, I get what Dragon's saying. Like when people like give of themselves, but then they tell people they did it, and I'm like, you're a piece of trash. Like,
Yeah.
do you know how much all of us do every day to help others or to do things for other people, and we don't sit there and like put it on Twitter or, need the whole world to know? Like, just be a good person and not feel like you have to tell people that you're being a good person. It's like when people say, I'm a humble person. I assure you, you're not. If you have to tell people you're humble, you're really not. But Neal does really good at that. I will say that's something that Dragon and I both have seen, that he's really good with support and pushing people out there and giving people a spotlight and helping boost them up. But yet when we do it for him, it's like, don't do this. This makes me uncomfortable. I don't like this. So there's kind of a double standard there with you, Neal.
I just want to see everybody around me winning. That's what makes me feel like I'm winning. And so when other people try to make me the one that's the winner, I feel like I can't enjoy it because no one else is with me. Like that's really what it comes down to.
Maybe it's that it's including you in the winning. Yeah. Stop looking at it as like it's a refocus or a redistribution. It's we're including in that.
I just want to see everyone with me. That's all I want. At the end of the day, I think if this show were to become the most successful Web3 podcast in the world, for real, but I was the only one here, I'd hate it.
You still wouldn't take any credit for anything.
Like, I'd hate it though. Like, it would be so awful. Like, it's something I wouldn't want to be a part of because I just want to see the Dragons and the Whiskeys of the world winning because that makes me feel like I'm winning. No, they're both shaking their heads at me.
You're just exhausting that when we.
How is that exhausting?
Because it's like, I know that when you guys compliment me, I'm like, okay, that's enough. Stop. But anytime Dragon and I try to like boost you and be like, you're doing an amazing job and this and that, you turn it and you're like, well, no, I'm just trying to do this and I'm just trying to do that. Like, you never just take it and go, thank you. And it's almost like me and Dragon have to train you on how to take positive reinforcement and compliments.
Yes.
Just saying.
Thank you.
I will try to do better.
Next question. What brought you into this Web3 space? Because we're going to continue to dig deeper. And through this, previous projects and stuff, we won't go into names, but what brought you into this space to where you are now?
Yeah, so I was a youth pastor for like 11 years, which is a really long time to be in one role. I didn't move. I stayed at one place, worked with the same group of teenagers, a couple cycles of them. Average lifespan of youth pastors like 2 or 3 years. I did it in one spot for 11, basically, which is a long time. But I took a little bit of a break from that. And I did it to disconnect and have some time for my family and, just some time to like kind of re-energize myself and get ready for whatever else was next. And what I found was Web3. That's around the time that Slum Doge Millionaire was the Doge Millionaire or whatever his name was becoming really famous. Dogecoin was on its way to its all-time high. I got a Coinbase. I started researching things. I found SafeMoon off of a TikTok before it blew up, and I bought in right after it fell. It was perfect timing, really. I didn't buy it at the all-time high. I just bought a little after. And I just kind of fell in love with decentralization, with what the true, like the things that got me really excited about this space is how technology can be a solution. Like AI right now, it's improving Google. It's improving tools that are available to us. And I got fixated and I fell down this hole, and I was on Twitter Spaces 24/7. I was watching YouTube videos. I was digging. I remember finding the SafeMoon Mark videos back in the day where he explained the math of reflections. I just fell down this hole and I didn't stop. And I actually kind of made my family mad because I was supposed to be taking a break. Instead, I devoted all of my time and energy into cryptocurrencies and then slowly becoming NFTs. And I'm people oriented, so I started interacting with people. Before I know it, I found myself on a team of people trying to support a token, and then from there, I started beginning a little bit of recognition, I think is the way I'd say it. Like my name wasn't foreign, and it was actually kind of trusted when I spoke. People were starting to listen to what I had to say. I started holding spaces. People really were clicking with them. I had a show for a little while where I did interviews with people like Brian from Glow and Shane and others. And what's his name? I know his name. Tom Bailey, Katz. I interviewed all these people and it was just fun getting to know the human side, which is what I focused on. And we've talked about other projects and stuff on the podcast and how I got to Cris already, but it just kind of when I find something I'm interested in, it's like a fixation, and it's a little like on the spectrum. Like I just can't let it go, and I just kind of started digging, and all of a sudden I was 2 years later, here we are. So, yeah.
See, that wasn't that hard. I feel like every time I respond to something or say something, it sounds like a euphemism, and I'm not comfortable with that because it's just
you're getting uncomfortable with everything you say.
It just continues. So we've talked about Cris, and one of the questions I had was what drew you to Cris Vond, but we've kind of gone over that a little bit.
Yeah.
You've talked about Cris as a person and who he is and what he does and what drew you into his project, because you really have to connect to the people that you're going to work with in order to take on a role like community manager, because I did not know what comes with it when I said yes, and you knew a little bit of what comes with it by supporting me and seeing some of the stuff that I've dealt with or worked with. So I guess I kind of want to know, knowing what you knew at that time, to go to Cris and want to take that on. It's not something that I think is done lightly. There's a lot that goes with it when you take on the role of community manager. I said this morning when I was talking to somebody, that you're literally like customer service for an entire community. So you can either be informative and give proper resources, help out, you're a part of the team. So it's like you've got all this work back behind that people don't see. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And you really have to enjoy and be connected with who you're working with. So getting into that, what made you go, I'm going to take this on. I know it's going to be a challenge. I know that it's going to take up a lot of time, but you chose Cris Vond.
Yeah. There was a moment for me with Source Code to Freedom. Because what people don't know is me and Cris talked about me being a part of the team prior, and I said no, because I really wanted to make sure I could give my all to what I was doing. Not that he just pitched it to me. We had conversations around it, and it's not like I turned him down or anything. I just said, I got to focus. It wasn't like a yes, no thing. But there was this moment where it was one of Chris's moments where he could have really, I'm trying to be careful with how I answer this. It's tough. There was just this moment where I clearly could see where Cris was, and all we had to do was just be a little bit of focus and priority around what he's trying to deliver, and it just completely go nuts. And everything was going the right way. All it took was conversion on that. Somebody, just some support was all that was needed for Cris to have some really life-changing things happen with his project. And those moments don't come every day. Those are tough moments to get. It's a lot of work to see a project across the finish line. And I was boiling that day in anger. And there was just this moment where I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, well, if you were there, maybe it could have been better. And so pretty much the next day I got on the phone with Chris and said, hey, make me a part of your team. Here's why. And I didn't care what again, going back to what I said earlier about who I am, like, I don't care. You can call me whatever you want. Call me an asshole. That's fine. But how do I make Chris's project win? How do I make Chris shine? Because that project has everything you could ever want in a project. And I feel like I'm screaming this into the void a little bit. Like everything you could ever want in an NFT project, it has, and more. It has things you don't even know you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just needed to do whatever it took to see it be successful. After seeing a moment get messed up, and I'm not throwing shots at anyone here. I just realized I think I could have did better in that moment, and I wasn't there to do it.
Yeah.
Is that?
I will say.
Will that get me canceled?
No, I will say. I think, and if you ask Dragon too, I mean, we've all been pretty close to Chris for a while. We've seen him put himself on the back burner and do work for other people, all while he wants to do his own thing, and he has every right. And I mean, he should. He deserves to have the best. And it's been kind of hard to sit and watch the sloth's pace of getting the attention that Chris deserves. And I feel like since you came on board with him, it's been like somebody turned on a light and finally sees what's happening.
Yes.
And that's not something that was going on before you. So as much as you hate the recognition and the attention, you have to at least understand that this happened. It takes a team. I admit it does take team effort. No one person can do this stuff on their own. It takes everyone to do that. But I think Chris needed you, not someone like you, not someone that does stuff like you. Chris needed Neal to be able to move in the right direction, to get the attention, to get stuff going. Everyone knows Cris Vond. So it's not that he needed people to like see him, but he's very quiet and he's very humble and he's very reserved. And I love that. But when you are trying to create a brand and a business in this Web3 space, you have to have a little bit of mouth. And I feel like Neal just, yeah, well, we all have mouth, right? I mean, we do our jobs, we get shit done. Neal just has been like, am I right, Dragon? Like you've been there from the beginning too. You've seen what Neal does. You see the effort. You guys, we're all in these team chats together. We see the organization and the communication and the consistency. They're all things I preach all the time that help create and keep a team strong, focused, organized. That's not something you see a lot. And it takes so much effort to do that. And it's not taken lightly because everyone sees it. I mean, am I like Dragon shaking his head? Yes. Like, do you have something like?
No, like, well, it was obvious that you made a big difference. It was like you started the motors for Chris, his project, everything, and it's moving.
And I agree. Thank you. And I don't want to take away, like, there were people before me too that were doing incredible work in the background, and I don't want them to listen to this and think that we don't respect it. Like I think of Angel, right? Like he's been killing it, different ways, you know, like just and they've spent hours in building this concepts and putting things together. So I thank you.
Yes,
I'm just coming in to do the.
They don't go unnoticed. Everyone is.
Yeah. Okay.
They're noticed, and we absolutely, because again, it's teamwork. Everyone matters. Strengths matter. Everyone brings something to the table. With Chris's project specifically and his brand, there's several elements on top of just community, founders, project. Like he's got multiple layers there with him having a fashion brand. So you've got the manufacturing and the marketing and the community and the, you know, all these different things. So everyone plays a part. And him and Cog have been amazing. They've been solid. They've been with him from the beginning. So it's not not taking away from
follow them out. That's all.
But the community part is something that you're starting to get people that are recognizing the effort that you're putting forth. and you're starting to get recognized from people outside of your circle. I think sometimes we take for granted the people closest to us that constantly commend and support and appreciate, because it's the same people saying the same things, and you unfortunately become blind to it after a while because you hear it so much from the same people that when other people say it, it's like, oh, okay, so I am making an impact. And that's not a knock, it's just how we operate. You know, when your people say the same thing, it's, you almost are like, well, they're saying that because they're my people. Well, no. Like you said, I talk a lot of shit, and I will tell you if you're being a dick or if you're doing a really good job. And I'm telling you, you have been killing it. And it's not easy. Like, DeFi community, it's not easy.
It's not.
Yep, I can see that. I would have lost my stuff a long time ago. You guys,
I've
do
only
awesome.
bled a little bit from my tongue as I was biting it.
That happens.
I would have had
my AirPod died. Yeah, Dragon gets in chats and he's like, I will not say what I want to say. And I'm like, please remember that the things that you say do affect my job, and you can make it harder or you can make it easier. And Dragon's just like, so he'll type it in our group chat and be like, I just need to, and Neal does it too, I just need to get it out and I just need to say it without saying it in this chat so that everyone sees it. So I appreciate that. But it is fun though for me, because I'm coming up on like 8 months now. Like, honestly, I never thought I'd make it this far, but here we are, 8 months. And I've not had anybody that I can watch to like pull from or to help me or to inspire me. It's like everything I've done research on, and it's been trial and error and listening to the community and trying to do the best for the community. To watch Neal now is kind of like my entertainment, because when I go into the DeFi Discord and I see people like asking when, or they'll ask him questions, or they'll like say that they tried to do this and they can't get a hold of, you know, like whatever the complaint or whatever the issue is, to know that it is not my baby and I can sit by and watch this. It is literally like those gifs where you see people eating popcorn watching a movie, because it's so fun for me to see Neal go through things. Because all this time, he's like, I got your back and I support you and you're doing amazing and all this stuff. And now he's in the driver's seat and it's really fun to watch. I mean, it like gives me life to see you go through some things and be like, okay, it's not just me. This is just what happens when you're a community manager. You get shit on all the time.
Yeah, and you have to deal with the self-doubt. That's my thing. Like, you not only get it in the face pretty heavy sometimes, but then you also have to like deal with your own self that's like trying your best to bring whatever you can and giving everything you can to do it, but then you have to like pull it out of you to deal with the nonsense on top of it. I won't say who it is, but they're like, you still get it worse than I do at the moment. So yeah, but I hear
somehow
you.
Doesn't make me feel better.
You're doing a good job.
No, I appreciate that, but you've kind of crushed this whole community manager thing starting out, and it's been fun to watch, and I tease you, but you've done a really good job with it. So before we move on, I just want to ask you if you could look at you all proud because you said thank you. If you could sum up community manager in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
3 words. Just getting coffee delivered. Bear with me. Sorry, interruption. But I got coffee, and that's a big win. Okay, I've thought about this a little bit because I saw this question. The first word is thermostat. So thermostat.
Okay.
And I forgot the other 2 because of the whiskey.
I swear, if you say biscuits and Ted or something stupid, like we're done.
Thermostat, resilient, supporter.
Okay. I don't understand thermostat, but I get the last 2.
There's two people. You can be one of 2 things in the world, and you can be this type of thing in different areas of your life too. You can either be a thermometer or a thermostat. if you want to be a good community manager, you not only have to be a thermostat and set the temperature, but you also have to inspire others to keep that temperature and to set it as well.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. Yes.
And you have to keep you set it. You set the temperature. And if you're having a bad day and you set a bad temperature, everyone's going to be in a bad mood.
Yes.
If you're the one setting the pace, and that's scary because again, you're the one making a lot of these decisions. So if you're making all these choices and people don't like it, and you're setting a bad temp in the room, then yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So your thermostat is number one.
I appreciate that. So, if Neal and I are MIA for a day because we took our own personal days to just like step back, it's for everyone's own safety and good that we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Neal coming in hot or whiskey coming in hot is just not a good thing. It's dangerous.
Dragon and Whiskey has gotten to see unfiltered Neal, and so as the listeners have too to a point, but there's still sides of me that I haven't shared with the world.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It can, in a good way sometimes, but then sometimes Neal and Dragon will come in super hot with something, and I'm like, I'm a little afraid this is going to bite me in the ass, and I'm not even involved. Because you guys come in so forceful at times that it's like, oh, Jesus. You just sit there and you wonder where you're going to hear about it from and how bad the lashback's going to be.
It's true. I keep all that bottled up pretty tight around in the world, but when I'm in my safe place, if it comes out in the world, it's not good. So it's what Whiskey said. Like if you don't hear from me for a little bit, it's okay. Just give me a minute.
For your own safety.
Yeah.
All right, Dragon. Do you have questions for Neal?
Oh, I have tons.
Tons. These questions have been pretty easy so far. I haven't felt uncomfortable yet.
Trust me, it's gonna get hard. I'll start with a question that you ask like every guest. What's your guilty pleasure TV show or movie? TV show and a movie. TV show and a movie.
I only asked the British ones because British television is. I mean, I think everybody knows the answer to that already.
They have biscuits.
I mean, does anyone not know the answer to that question?
I'm not sure what the movie because you go like everywhere.
Shows, I mean, though, but I have one show that I consider those people my friends. They're in my life more as much as anyone else in the world. I spend more time with. No, not the British one, just the regular one.
Oh.
So your answer is The Office?
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening here. Oh, okay. The Office and probably Ted Lasso, right? Would those be your top two?
Yeah, I mean, movies, I just love exploring. I look at movies like I do a book. You know, I just go to experience something great. But I get invested in a show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And when I get invested in something like cryptocurrency, it takes over my life. And all of a sudden, I'm doing chaotic exposure with two other people, going to NFT NYC, and a community manager of a project. That's what happens when I get invested.
Isn't that wild? Yeah. I look like where I was 2 years ago, and I'm like, this is not where I expected my life to be.
Way better.
How did we get here? I don't know.
Well, the reason I asked that question to our British guests, though, is because I know there's a lot of British television I haven't seen. And so I want their recommendation so I can go find a new show. That's really like what it comes down to. Okay. Just for the record. It's selfish.
So, what is your most embarrassing moment in middle school or high school?
I don't think I could share that.
I'm so glad you did not ask these questions on my hot seat. Oh my God.
Okay. How far do I want to take this?
Look at Neal.
Take it.
Hiding in his shirt. Like, oh my God.
You're in the hot seat.
Burn, baby.
I don't want to take this super serious, but it kind of is serious, so I don't know how to answer it.
Oh no.
I'll just say a lighthearted one. I'm not going to go serious. I can go serious with you guys in person, but not on the show. In sixth grade, they prepare you for dances. They like get you ready for the world of dances that's about to befall you in middle school and high school. At least they did. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to put Nelly songs on for eighth graders, but there we were doing it anyway.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but in sixth grade, before you make that jump to middle school, they put on a dance. And I was on a military base for this. And they bring in all these high school girls to dance with you and to break the ice.
When you're in 6th grade?
Yeah. And this is right before you the summer. Again, it's just like kind of like a dance that's like during school hours to get you ready for dances when they come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weird behavior. I don't know. Either way, this girl enters the scene. None of the boys want to do it. We're in 6th grade. Yeah, right. Girls are terrifying. And so she randomly picks me and takes both of my hands while I'm straddling the cement in the force of her body as she pulls me onto the dance floor like this and then dances with me. But then I put my hands on her sides and I was forever hooked. It was really embarrassing in the moment, but really I think I won.
That kind of happened to me in the club, and she turned out to be a witch.
Why did we not discuss this on your hot seat? I feel like there's missed opportunity here. Okay.
That's a funny story. What's the craziest thing you ever done to impress someone you had a crush on?
Uh-oh.
Pass.
You can't pass? What's that? That's not an option. Dragon and I didn't have that option to pass.
I don't know. I was just... the way I look at my romantic life as a young one was very much the good guy that did everything he could to keep the affection of the girl. And the bad guy always came in and ruined it. So I've done quite a bit of things.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why we do that, because all my exes were assholes. Like,
yeah, like I would show up every day and just
the good
be
guys never
available.
won.
No, they never did. And I mean I'm recovered, right? I high school I made a lot of poor choices, and I definitely didn't treat every girl the way I should have, and I definitely have made some pretty big mistakes. When I was addicted to methamphetamine and coke and crystal and the whole I did it all. So I'm not saying I was this perfect guy, but like when I was romantically interested in a girl, I went all the way with it. I'm very extreme. I fixate. And so I did whatever she wanted me to do to just try to keep her affection with me.
Why do I feel like restraining order Neal is a thing based on the comments that you've made?
It's not no restraining orders or anything. I didn't like get
Dragon
weird.
Was thinking the same thing. It's like I fixate. If somebody told me they were fixated on me, I'd be like, "The fuck."
It's probably the wrong. It's probably the wrong word. It's probably the wrong word to describe it. But like, I just was available, and I would try my best to. Not unlike as an adult. I mean, honestly, like those traits have shaped me. Yeah. They didn't get me the girl of my dreams. I didn't keep the girl of my dreams. I was good at catching them initially, but they wouldn't last long on the hook. They would leave too quickly.
Girls are more mean.
The worst one, and this is actually a big reason why I got clean. I was ready to like get a full-time job and support 2 drug habits full-time for this girl, and she ended up cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend who got her hooked on crack, and she had a miscarriage. And she cheated on me with him and lied about it. And so I mean I feel like I definitely got and you know I got clean, sober, much different place in life, have a family now, healthy situations mostly. We're still people, but yeah, I've done weird. I've done it whatever it took to not lose the girl of my dream though.
Wow. I don't know what to say to all that.
Just being honest. I'm not taking. I could take it further, and then it would. Get weird,
that's okay. That's okay. I do want to know though, because you guys asked me, or one of you tagged me on a was it an Uber fax that said, "What was your worst date?" And you said you wish you would have asked me this on my hot seat, and I answered it on Twitter. So what's been your worst date experience?
Yeah, I was like in 7th grade, and I wasn't allowed to date technically. And I snuck out of the house and got a table of Outback Steakhouse with another 7th grader. And it was pretty awful. It was pretty bad. No one had a fun time. Super awkward. That's probably my worst date.
That's still not as bad as mine. I was kind of hoping for like something that would make me feel better, but that was
The other worst date was I
was
took a bag of
bad.
cocaine to the senior prom. That was a pretty rough night.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
The amount of stories that are in Neal's head is just like, I don't think we can mentally prepare to tell them all.
I tried not to prepare and just be honest.
I'm here for it.
So, if you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Living?
Unless you want to be dead in a casket, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to sound awful. I did this on Crypto Bros. I don't know.
Was this a question they asked?
No, they asked me about a weird fact that I knew or something.
Oh.
And I was like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I really commit to who I am. I think I have a pretty good handle on who I am most of the time. I'm still really insecure, but I don't think I'd want to be anyone else. Like, I don't want to be. I think if I could trade lives with anyone, it'd probably be some random person on a beach somewhere, and I could just have a day to myself. Like, you
Just
know what
to
I'm saying?
experience their situation, not necessarily who they are.
No, yeah,
What kind of beach? Like nude beach? Or?
no,
Nude beach.
like you know how some of these like really remote resorts on like the Fiji Islands. You know what I mean? Like I want to go and just like
Oh.
sit in a cabana for a day.
Go to
You know what I'm
Bora
saying?
Bora.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'd pick that just because I have that meth head energy, you know, and so I have like 4 different jobs at any one given time, and just to be able to relax for a day sounds nice. That's all.
That does sound nice.
Yeah,
You want
I feel like
more?
that could go wrong though.
it could quickly,
We're just warming up.
but like I don't want the smoke of most people's lives. Like I can barely handle my own. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, at least I know what to expect in my life. I mean, for the
Exactly.
most part. There's been some massive curveballs and stuff, but like at least I have control over my life right now. The idea of being thrusted into someone else's situation is kind of like, it's a little terrifying.
Yes.
I just YOLO the whole time.
It's just YOLO. Dragon just lives his best life all the time.
I could get canceled and say be a founder of a project or two, but I won't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't get canceled. These chaotic exposures live are going to be like the death of us. It was good while it lasted. We had a good run, but New York will kill us all.
Or make us infamous. One or the other.
Yeah.
I'll roll the
bad
dice.
Way.
Oh, in a good way. All it takes is a good moment to like have 100K listens, you know? You never know.
What is that moment going to be though? Neal in a bathtub?
Neck tattoos. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be bad. I'm glad you upped your life insurance policy, Dragon. I might need to do the same because it's just the more we talk about it, the more terrifying it is.
No, it's going to be great. We're all adults. We can handle it.
Some of us act like it most of the time.
Rude.
Let me see. There was one question. Benji asked, why are you the way that you are?
I ask myself that question every day. Let me know when you have an answer. I actually do. Like, okay, can we take it serious for a minute? Like, I've kept it pretty light. I've opened up about my past and not serious, but I just you know, I really appreciate that we had Mental Health Collective on. You know, I really so I've talked about it before a little bit, but when I was hospitalized for 10 days, I was in a coma and in the hospital. It ripped my like proverbial guts out. You know, it wrecked me emotionally. I couldn't get out of bed for days. I literally watched The Office through every 2 weeks for like 3 months. Like I just literally sat in bed and watched it over and over again. It's what got me through. That and my faith, but again, whatever. That is a real question that I ask, you know, and I love what Mental Health Collective's doing. I think their episodes should have 100 times more listens than they do, because mental health's real, and this space is tough, and there is a lot of doubt. And that question is one I really do ask often because I make things weird too often, and feel like I just go too far all the time. Even in this interview, here we are making it weird.
Yeah. No.
Why am I the way that I am? I don't know.
I think there was a question I was going to ask you. Oh, I think I skipped it. So this podcast came from your idea. We've established that you're the one that brought this to us and was like, "What do you think?" Is it turning into what you hoped it would be?
Yeah. Yeah. I really
What'd you say, Dragon?
Lie. No.
Like-
no, it is. It's actually better than what I thought. I mean, it's like it's more almost pure base. Like, how do we capture the life that we were living every day in podcast form? And I think we're doing that. And
Yeah.
we've even met some friends along the way. You know, my hope is as we continue to grow and as more people come and find us, that we are making an impact. You know, that we are able. I've talked about this before. I think when me, Dragon, and Whiskey look at a project, I'm not saying every one of our metrics is the exact same. We're all three individuals, but we do share a lot of the same criteria. You know, of when we look at something and when we find something that we think is valuable, you're gonna see us around, and when we find something that is interesting, we generally all think it's interesting, and it's because we value the same things in a project in this space, and I hope that criteria is a little bit different than what a lot of people have seen in the NFT space on news or be investing themselves. And my hope is that we've kind of collected this really incredible group of projects that we've had on our show. And I'm hopeful that as it develops, that we become a really respected chaos, yes, but respected source for good projects for people to. So that's my hope going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to think about where how all three of us came from different areas.
Yeah.
I had no interest in NFTs. I obviously didn't have a podcast. Never saw myself being a part of a team for an NFT project or being a part of Cris Vond's project. I don't know if I know we've talked about you guys never expected to be where you are. Dragon's on a freaking podcast and like
Yeah. That's so weird.
never would have happened. It's just you really do make these little decisions every day that turn into these gigantic life-changing opportunities. And it's like on really bad days, it's really bad. You just are drained and exhausted and ask why you're here and why you're doing this, and you feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And yet, you show up every day. You do your work, you get stuff done. You're there for everyone else all the time. I mean, you genuinely are always looking out for everyone else. And when it comes to Cris Vond, when it comes to this podcast, when it comes to the Misfits, me and Dragon, I mean, you just continue to like push through because we all know each other personally. I mean, we know each other's real names and like you guys probably know everything but my social. So, I mean,
I think we saw your social once.
Great. Well, that's why my credit is jacked now. Okay. We have literally gotten so close that we all joke about people are going to be tired of us because they're going to see us everywhere. We're literally leaving our mark everywhere we go, and we're making it hard for people to not know us or not see us.
Oh yeah.
And it's so cool to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is stuff that you have pushed and helped with. I mean, with support from say this wrong every time, but support from not behind. I don't know what to say.
What?
I always say that Neal is really good at support from behind, and it always
What she said.
it always comes out bad, and I'm trying to word it differently. You're good at support. How do we word this? You know what I'm trying to say.
He always
Getting
has
frustrated.
your 6.
He always what?
Has your 6. Your back.
Your
Oh.
6.
I don't think there's a good way to say this.
Oh.
I think is what we're learning here.
It's just it all goes back to asses all the time.
It just sounds weird no matter what. I think is the lesson.
Yeah, I don't know. Dragon, did you? I'm just gonna go back to Dragon. I'm not doing well here.
What's the most ridiculous conspiracy theory you ever heard?
Probably the mermaids.
Thanks for that, Dragon.
I thought you believed in mermaids.
No, I don't really believe in mermaids, Dragon. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
They're in Wednesday though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I think if the accounts are real, I do think that it's like more demonic, but we don't have to go there. That's fine.
Oh my god.
How many times do you think all of us collectively say, we're not going to go there?
Yeah.
And the audience is like, no, please go there.
I just don't think most people want to hear my philosophical views of the Bible and into the world and why I'm a Christian.
I don't want to hear about demonic views. I mean,
I just don't think most people are super interested in that, so I try to.
Well, speaking of demonic,
oh my god.
what's the most interesting dream you've ever had?
Wow.
Honestly, like this isn't meant to sound sad, but I only ever have nightmares.
Aww.
I just don't have
That's
good
sad.
dreams. Yeah, it's okay. Like
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Like I'm always. I talked about this on the bros too. I'm only ever dreaming about how I've screwed up. Like that's. I think I just have a lot of anxiety.
Damn.
You know. Yeah. So it's like I've messed up my marriage, or I've just completely been canceled in Web3, or I've whatever XYZ. I did have. I actually did have a dream the other night that I woke up and it was like source code to freedom, and all of a sudden DeFi elitism was just minted out, and that was a good dream. That's more anxiety ridden because then I go and check OpenSea and it hasn't moved. And I'm like, come on.
Okay, so you sent this thing to me about things that has happened to you. Like
these are gonna be hard to talk about.
Well, we're not going to be able to talk about all of them, so make it a good one.
Yeah. So what does it mean that you slept backwards on a hill during a night raid?
Oh, yes. I definitely want to hear about that one.
You slept backwards on a hill during a night raid.
How do you sleep back? Like, how did you know it was backwards, though? Like,
upside down or like backwards. Like I slept on the wrong side of the going downhill.
What?
So like,
so would that mean that your head was up towards like the top?
No, facing the bottom of a hill. My head
but if
was
you're
facing...
going down, then you're never mind. Just continue.
Whatever. I slept the wrong way downhill. You know. Okay. This is gonna be hard to.
Obviously.
So I was in this program in Texas. It was an internship. It's no longer there. And you had about 2,018 to 23-year-olds on the campus as interns or graduate interns. And basically it was like this Christian ministry that did all these events all over the country. The internship, you'd go on site, you live there, you work, you had classes, you had all these things that you did. It was really, really cheap, and the food was awful, and you slept in a room with 5 other people, with 2-3 people bunks. And it was for leadership development, Christian faith-based training stuff, you know, just sharpening you up before you move on to the next step in life. It's actually where I got clean. It's not at rehab. I showed up that first day coming down off of an 8-ball of Coke and really faced myself in the mirror. And anyways, I did this year-long program. It ended up going really well. Well, one of the things they did was these things they called life-transforming events, LTEs, right? And they would transform the campus one for a weekend, and like one weekend would be fasting. They would do like total fasting, just water, no talking, anything. They would have sessions we'd come to, and we'd just fast for 2.5 days. It was amazing, actually. It was a really cathartic experience. It was miserable most of the time, but it was great. Well, one weekend in my class, they'd never done this before. They called this thing a world awareness LTE. And no one knew what it was. No one knew what was going to happen. Well, they tell us to come down to this auditorium and watch this movie. And this movie was like kind of like it was a blockbuster movie, but it was about like smuggling guns to do humanitarian aid in another country. It was an ethical debate kind of movie. And it ends, and the lights get turned off, and it's pitch black in this auditorium, and there's like 800 undergraduates, 1,000 undergraduates sitting in this dark, and all of a sudden doors bust open. All these graduate interns come in with camo and paintball guns, and they turn the entire campus into like a closed country, like a country that doesn't allow Christianity. They say, you're Christians, you're in a country that's not allowed. Good luck, get out of here, you're going to jail. And they like created like gels and everything. It was a wild, weird kind of thing. And I was all in. It was fun. Like, I was a rebel and I was ready to overthrow the government. And I like hid in the woods and I was so into it. I wasn't paying attention to how I was sleeping one night. And I literally just like went to bed where I was at. And I woke up the next morning and my head was just like pounding because all the blood had rushed to my head all night because I was sleeping downhill. It was a lot of fun. And they could never do that event again because it was so like surprising. That's why it worked, because no one knew what was to expect. It was a lot of secrecy. They tried to do it the next year, but it was really stupid because everybody knew, the word got out. They couldn't keep it a secret. But it was a fun year. I actually went to be a graduate intern there and led a group of guys and just.
Neal has so many stories.
Yeah, you have.
Am I tiring you out?
Sorry.
No.
One more.
One more. Much.
Yeah, you can ask one more.
You hallucinated an old lady in a hospital room. What the?
Oh, no.
All right, so I had this thing. It's Coxsackie's bee. That's the name of the virus.
What?
Coxsackie's bee. Okay.
Okay.
You have probably had this too.
I assure you, I had nothing of this name before.
You probably did. It's especially if you have kids, you've likely had it. Just
No.
Statistically speaking, but you just never knew, because normally it's just like a little stomach bug that goes away. Okay, 1 in about 2 million people respond really negatively to it, and they get myocarditis, which is failure of the heart, and then it shuts all the other organs down. So I had my lungs, liver, kidneys, forgetting whatever. They all failed. They weren't working completely. Turned off. 10 days, I was basically a vegetable. And I woke up, and they had me on every pharmaceutical grade narcotic that ever has been known to man for days. And kind of coming out of that, I lived a lot of things that never really happened. I actually had to go to therapy for a few of them because they were kind of abusive in nature. But they weren't real. They were just figments of my drugged out brain coming out of this coma after getting sick. And so there was this one day as I was kind of starting to come back out of my psychosis, and I kept picturing a grandma in the rocking chair beside my bed, but I couldn't move because I had muscle atrophy, right? But she was I kept seeing her there, and my wife came in the room and just went and sat on her, and I flipped out. I was like, "You're sitting on grandma. You can't do that. There's a grandma right there. Get off of her." And I was convinced that there was this lady in the room.
Oh, God.
And that was a really frightening moment for my wife. She talks about that one a lot because I was also convinced that we were on the top of U.S. Bank Stadium and that they partnered with the Minnesota Zoo and they put an exhibit in. And at the top of the exhibit was the hospital, the University of Minnesota. And I really wanted to take Natasha, my wife, down to the bottom of the exhibit where there was like a restaurant that pulled from all over the world from the different exhibits that they had for the Minnesota Zoo. And I wanted to take her there. I wanted to leave the room and take her down to the bottom of the Minnesota Zoo exhibit in US Bank Stadium to take her to that restaurant so we could just have some normalcy in her life in that moment. And she went and got the doctor and was like, "What's going on with my husband? He's losing his mind." Because I was literally in just a hospital room. But there were some good drugs, I'll say that much.
That's
so many
crazy.
stories. Neal should write a book.
No one wants that.
What do you think if Neal wrote a biography on himself? What would the title be? Maybe I should make this we should make this a tweet, and people can help us name the episode. Help us name Neal's episode this week. I like that idea. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so I think we have probably asked Neal enough questions and dug so deeply into his soul that we all are more educated on why Neal is the way he is. I will say, and I'm sure that everyone listening agrees, that you are crushing this community manager. You are absolutely killing it. I know that Cris appreciates it. I can see his appreciation for it, and it's really cool to see you get recognition from other people, because I think that you need it from other people other than just me and Dragon. It's really nice to see people, coming to you and saying, I notice what you're doing. And I think that that's important because it is exhausting. You do have a weight. We all see it, but you're killing it. So, crushing
You're
it.
awesome.
Thanks,
And
guys. I appreciate
Look
you.
at how easy that was to say
God, that
thank
face.
you.
That look he made.
Yeah. Backhanded.
It's never enough.
No.
Neal, and nudes.